Look at the man who reduces himself to the actions of a small child.
She only worshipped her creator.
But listen to me,
She never worshipped her son.
If victimizing ISIS is a crime, I plead guilty. But he is an apologist for the persecution and discrimination against Christians. Dust, would you like to have a time debate?
In Iraq.
Dust, would you like to have a time debate?
And when Muslims come here,
Dust, would you like to have a time debate?
angry with.
Do you see, ladies and gentlemen?
And when the Muslims.
How we doing? Yeah, I'm good, thank you.
Good.
I'm all right, thank you. How are you? So, I'm going to talk about my next topic now.
What's your topic?
The political right and why it needs Christianity.
Put you the political right.
So, ladies and gentlemen,
Let's get them in audience. Come on.
I'd like to talk about the political right and why the political right needs Jesus Christ. I know, ladies and gentlemen, that many of you here are conservative. Okay, I'm going to stop for a minute and challenge this guy about his Quran. So, no,
I'll show you the hut.
I want to ask you a question about your Quran. No, I want to talk about your Quran.
Edit this if you wanted it because of the pussy clock flex.
So,
You see the Prophet Muhammad? He said to a wrestler, or now wrestler, imagine Khabib now, yeah? He said to a wrestler, or like Roddy Piper, yeah? Or like Ultimate Warrior Hulk Hogan, yeah? He said, if I could beat you in wrestling, will you testify? It's exactly what he did, and he testified. So kick up competition.
So, let's talk about his Quran. Now notice how quickly he runs away when I talk about his religion. The moment I talk about religion, he runs. But when I was trying to talk about something else, he comes and heckles me. So, we'll just keep the Quran handy, just in case he comes back. Oh, he just wants to play football. It's amazing how Muslims make up excuses despite all the evidence. Despite all the evidence. So, why do you lie? Why is lying so normal to you as Muslims here in the park? Why is lying the go-to thing for you guys? Despite the fact, there you go, here's my witness. You just lie, it just comes to you naturally. It's like breathing oxygen to you. And that's a shame. It's a shame, Mohammed. Oh look, he's back. Is that just playing football? Is that just playing football? Is it? Is it just playing football? Yeah? Okay. So let's talk about the Quran.
Let's talk about Jacob.
So let's talk about the Quran.
From the people of
So I
Israel.
want to ask you.
Like your God is one, my God is one. Don't touch, please. Thank you very much.
I want to ask you.
Just returning in kind.
It says 24:35.
You can ask what you want. It's a rhetorical question already.
24:35.
Listen, we play with emotions. It's a rhetorical question.
Why are you shouting in my ear?
You touched me, so that's why I'm shining in your ear.
So,
because before you touch me, with sticks and stones,
it
right?
says in the Quran.
Sticks and stones, right?
It says in the Quran.
Sticks and stones, right?
Are you upset?
Are you?
Are you upset?
Are you?
You seem distressed.
Are you?
You seem distressed.
Are you? You seem so.
You had a lot of coffee this
Are you?
morning.
Are you?
Are
Did
trying-
you?
are you trying
Did
to be
you?
scary?
Did you?
Are you trying to
Are
be
you?
scary? You look
Are you?
cute.
You know he
It's a
doesn't.
bit-
He doesn't.
it's a
He
bit
doesn't
like-
agree to Halloween.
It's a bit like
It's
a
pagan.
kitten.
It's
a bit like
pagan.
a kitten.
A bit like 25th of December.
Are you trying to be scary?
Are you a Jehovah's Witness?
Are you trying to be
Because you don't do 25th of
intimidating?
December.
You're trying to be intimidating.
Oh, did you have too much
You
coffee?
look
as
really
well?
silly.
Should we go for a coffee?
Yeah, I think you should.
Do you want to go
I
for a
think-
coffee?
No, I don't like coffee. I
Okay,
drink
good.
tea.
Is it caffeinated?
So back to.
Is it caffeinated?
Back to.
Is
Says
it
in the Quran,
caffeinated? Is
Allah
it caffeinated?
Is the light
Does
of
Allah
the
like
heavens
caffeine?
and the earth.
Does Allah like caffeine?
The parable
Does Allah
of
like
his
caffeine?
light-
Oh, sorry. Sorry, touch, spit, same thing, say, spray.
No.
Yo, don't touch me
Maybe-
next time.
maybe
don't
you-
touch me. The ball's in
Does-
your court.
does that justify
Don't touch
you-
me.
does
I
that
do
justify
apologise.
that?
Let me put a mask
So-
on like a niqab. Like women have the choice.
Allah is the
Like women's
light
rights.
of the
They are
heavens
small.
and the earth.
raining
the parable of his light,
like Daffy Duck.
as if there were a niche.
So you got, oh, okay,
and
so you're
within
reading from
it,
Surah
a lamp.
Nur.
The
What's
lamp
Nur?
enclosed
What does
in
Nur
brass
mean? Al Nur.
means light.
Is it Allah's name?
Yeah, yes,
Is it
it
Allah's
is.
name?
Yes.
Oh, you know that?
So,
how many names does Allah have?
99.
How many times
So,
does Abraham mention the
so,
monotheist?
So,
Did Abraham worship
let me-
idols?
let me ask you a
Did what
question.
Abraham worship a
Let me ask you a
Jesus?
question.
No. Time's
as
over.
you can
Court's
see,
adjourned.
ladies and gentlemen, as we can see, ladies and gentlemen, he doesn't want to have an intelligent conversation. He is a child who behaves like a child. And unfortunately, this is just something that you have to put up with in Speaker's Corner. People that aren't well. So I want to talk about the political right in this country. Put your hand up if you would describe your values or your politics as being somewhere on the right of the political spectrum. Yeah, that's what I want to talk about. Because so many times amongst the conservatives. So guys, I'm going to take a step away from the clown. Going to take a step away from the clown. Right? So, ladies and gentlemen, I want to talk about the political right. And the fact that the political right in this country often has a self-defeating narrative. You see it in the comments amongst conservatives and amongst traditionalists all of the time. They look at the world as it is. They see the direction of travel. So we'll stand this way, JC. They see the direction of travel and they simply throw their hands up and run away. They cower and they talk about this country is lost, or this cause is lost, or all is lost. Many of you conservatives will look at the situation about the liberalisation or the fact of the progressive agenda advancing in our
John
country.
is far right and John is far wrong.
He's just upset.
John is like Goliath
He's
and
just
David was
upset
strong.
that his prophet was a paedophile who had sex with a child, who raped a woman, who traded in slaves, who robbed caravans. That is their
And I
prophet.
don't worship any man
That
like
is their
Moses or
prophet.
Ezekiel that put their face
So,
to the floor.
he's just a triggered
Moses
individual.
And Ezekiel face to the floor.
So there's no
Ezekiel
point me talking while he's
3:23,
here.
face to the floor. So I have a morning shift, but I'll
JC,
stay some more.
there you go. Just hold on to that a minute. Just wait.
Frogs, bruv. God don't discriminate.
Clearly he's forgotten to take his pills this morning. And his mum let him
Clouds in my
out without
coffee.
him taking his
I bet
pills.
you think
Which
this
is
song's not
unfortunate.
about you.
Alright, I think we can go. There we go. Alright, good.
Okay, so back again.
Take two.
Tag
So-
team back again.
We can just hose.
Like Deus Vult.
Yes, there's
And
Volt. It's a
and
great
Volt.
cause.
Yeah.
Christians
Like, quick,
have
run
the
through
right
the lens like
to
Usain
crusade.
Bolt. But who's quicker?
Christians
Jesus went
should be
ascension.
crusaders.
Isa went up, never died.
Simply.
Look up. Can you see him? Did you witness? I know he didn't die. Ezekiel raised the dead.
I'm not going to try and argue with a 12-year-old.
At least you know how strong a 12-year-old can be. Like Mary and Joseph.
Doesn't even deny it.
Mary was 12, Catholic. Encyclopedia. I'm not Catholic.
And he insults
And King
Joseph
Richard
and Mary,
II.
which I find interesting.
I love Mary. Chapter 19 of the Quran. There's a dog in chapter 18. Do you mind if I I'm shy. You know, I was walking in my local area. This gentleman-
So, let us try again. So in terms of conservative I'll pause.
On the night. Like Stevie
I
G.
You might as well just save your battery, JC.
Like Stevie G, but not for God. Like Exodus 7:1. God is one.
One off.
Yep. So,
One off. Week in, week out. Brother, you keep coming with the clout, and what's what we do? Shout, put your hands up.
there's no debate here. You just behave like a child.
Skate like Bambi on ice. You
And I
said
don't
1,
want to
2,
lower
5.
myself to having a childish argument.
So then Mary was 12, but she was mature
Yeah.
as hell. Hell's waiting in the wings for the man who likes to sing like La ilaha illallah. I'ma look over.
Now he's trying to be intimidating, ladies and gentlemen. But I can't be intimidated by a 12-year-old child who's got grey hairs in his beard.
He wants to ask a question about
I
Surah
can't be
Nur.
intimidated by a
Nur.
12-year-old child who's got a grey beard.
You like the silver
Someone
linings?
who is
Here's a cloud,
embarrassing
here's a cloud,
his own
and a
mother
clown, and here's a
by
silver lining, and this is
demonstrating
Mr. Jack Nicholson
that
from The Shining!
that
You need
his
to fix
own
some
mother,
twinings!
that his own mother,
because you got the
that his
Grey,
own mother
and you got the
didn't
you got
teach
the
him manners.
Abuse is what you heard. My mum
didn't
said I
teach
should
him
knock
respect. Oh look,
you out.
there you go. His mother failed to raise him, and he demonstrates what a failure his mother was. His mother failed to teach him manners. His mother failed to teach him emotional maturity.
You know that Ali Dawah clip?
This
you know that
small
Ali Dawah
child,
clip? My brother, he's a
this
nice guy.
pathetic
We call him Mike.
individual
Oh, sorry, don't touch my bum,
is
bro.
trying to
Don't
be
touch my bum now.
threatening.
Try not to touch my bum.
He's trying
I know
to
you
be
like that. I know you
intimidating.
touched me up earlier.
Because
Try not to touch my bum.
Muslims
please.
have
Yeah.
a
What a lovely
teaching
name. You should be
that
ashamed.
they
Your mum gave
are
you such a lovely
better
name.
than anyone else.
Yeah,
So this kind of thug
Are you
Islam,
prepared to be a martyr
this
like
kind
Yahya?
of pathetic Islamist, supremacist
upon me the
behaviour that you're witnessing
the day
right
of resurrected.
now comes from the
Jesus
fact
never
that
died.
Muslims
So you worship
are
a man that
taught by
died,
Islam
and then you say he
that
came
they
alive.
are
We don't even say he
better
died.
than Christians and
We don't
Jews.
worship him either way.
The Quran
Are you a
says
believer, hey?
that Christians and Jews
He does
are
believe in
the
God.
worst of creatures.
This far-right political
And
wing
that is
preacher
why
being paid,
he
Mr.
tries
John,
to
by
behave
your
like
letters
this.
here, he believes in one God Almighty Creator.
I
And that's
am
why we
not
end the show.
intimidated
Lovely.
by
I
this
am so
child
upset, but I smile.
whose mother failed to raise him.
Because like I said,
And that's
قل
an
يا أيها الكافرون
indictment
لا أعبد ما
against his
تعبدون
own mother.
وأنتم عابدون. For
He
those who don't know
testifies
Arabic and you don't know
that his
Aramaic,
mother
وأنتم
was a
عابدون ما
failure.
أعبد ولا
He
أنا عابد ما
testifies
عبدتم ولا أنتم
that his mother was an insult to motherhood. He testifies
That's what Mary said
and
about you.
insults
Mary said, why are you worshipping my
Oh,
son?
he insults
And you worship
the
Mary.
womb of his
And you
mother.
worship an angel.
because he demonstrates
Oh,
his
sorry.
poor
That was me.
upbringing.
That was me this time.
This pathetic,
He's loving
childish,
angels instead.
jihadi,
Personal attack.
this
Don't talk about my
wannabe
mum,
thug,
Don't talk about mum like
this
that, man.
wannabe
'Cause I talk about your mum
jihadi,
back, but I'm better
this
than that.
wannabe
I'm better than you, bruv.
supremacist
You talk about my mum. I'm not even saying
behaves
about your mum. I
like
talk
a
about
child.
my mum. My mum's name
There
is
you go.
Maryam. Maryam, chapter 19.
Look at him! Look at the clown! Look at the man who reduces himself to the actions of a small child.
She only worshipped the Creator.
But listen to me,
She never worshipped my
brothers
son.
and sisters,
Hold this.
Christians.
Hold on.
what you see in this
Atheists
book
that you pander to.
will be
Stop talking science
replicated
like you're
in
Brian
every
Cox.
city of England when Muslims, or if Muslims, become the majority in England. If you don't believe me, go and speak to the Christians of
It's the
Egypt.
fastest growing in Indonesia. It's got the largest population.
It will be replicated as it has been in Syria, as it is in Pakistan. You are seeing in microcosm this pathetic jihadi supremacist attitude because of the teachings of Islam. And it only gets worse the more it is intensified, as it is in Pakistan, as it is in Nigeria, as it is in Egypt and Syria, where jihadis like that you've seen today organize themselves to persecute and murder Christians. It is the same mindset that you saw just now
but replicated by thousands
Ladies and gentlemen,
of
here
people.
you have a grey-haired man who considers himself as the salt of the
There you
earth.
go.
Like Jesus
Just
said.
hold on to it. Stop giving it back to me.
Okay, wait, pause.
So why don't you
So,
talk about
Christians,
oneness of God?
You have a choice.
Oh, you got this one.
You have a choice, Christians. You either allow the Islamist scum to behave like scum, or you stand up to them, or you discover your backbone and your balls and your strength. Don't expect the progressives and the left wing to do it,
Boo, no.
because
They are on their side. You have to discover the strength to stand up to Islamists. You have to discover the organisation to stand up to Islamists.
You are just saying things and claiming
Proofs.
things. No proof.
Go and
You have no
research
proof. You're
the
just saying things
persecution
like that. You're just
of
saying them.
Coptic Christians
You're
in
just saying
Egypt.
them. You have no proof.
Go and research the
You
persecution
go and
of Christians in Nigeria. Go and research the persecution of Christians in Iraq. The supremacist attitude you see here today in the
trying
park
to say earlier,
are
who was very
being
energetic,
replicated
was talking about
by thousands
like
of
the Iraq
Muslims
war,
across the
which
Middle
Bob
East.
the Destroy here.
And as you
always
can
forget.
see, progressives
coming here
like dust
talking about Iraq
will justify
and
the
Christian
Islamists.
war.
So stop
When did I justify
looking.
it? When?
Stop looking
His
to
delusional
the left.
hyperbolic behaviour
Stop
has always been
looking
the same in this part.
to the left
All I said
for
that Bob
help.
the
For
Destroyer.
the camera,
It will never
not
come.
a Muslim.
Forget.
It will
What?
never come.
Dude, you're not helping. You're not helping.
I'm not helping, but I'll give myself a helping.
Christians,
Still defending the
Organise
far right
yourselves.
political views of
Christians,
Forget
you
about the
either
Iraq war
stand up
and
for
the
yourselves,
Christian
or
Iraq
you
war,
are bullied by
which has
Islamists like
murdered
this,
hundreds
progressives.
of
who are
thousands.
defended by
Hundreds of
progressives
thousands.
like this.
Talking about history.
That is
not
why,
defending.
as
Talking about
Christians,
history
we
is not
must
defending one
stand
group.
up for ourselves.
What is important is to
That's what
realise
we
the
must
crimes
do.
that
Exactly.
people like Bob the
That's
Destroyer
what we
has
must
done.
do.
And he
So,
comes
right,
here
debate.
being innocent, being
So-
I've done nothing wrong.
Let's debate
but yet
politics.
He has forgotten about
What
the Iraq
crimes
war.
dost?
He forgot about the
Christians
Christian
were not
slaughter of
responsible
Muslims in Iraq.
for the Iraq
I'm
war.
defending Muslims? No.
No.
You're
He's lying
forgetting
about the
history.
Christian church.
He's forgetting.
It
about
was America
something that's
that
inconvenient
invaded Iraq.
for the sickness
And
he will
America
turn a
is
blind eye to.
constitutionally
And that
secular.
sickness is turning a blind eye
Unfortunately,
to religious people.
You can't have
unless
conversations
you're the right
with
religion.
people like
If
this.
you're the right religion,
You can't
he
have
won't say a word
conversations
about your,
with progressives
He will not say a
or
word
Islamists.
about your murder.
You can
If you're the wrong
only
religion,
defeat
then
them.
listen to how loud.
That is what you must
listen
do.
to how loud. Bob
There
the
is no
Destroyer
common
becomes
ground.
when it's the
There
wrong
is
religion.
no
He gets up and says
negotiation.
how bad
There is
your
no
actions are.
compromise.
But when it's his
You
religion,
must
you
defend
can guarantee
and you
just
must
how
take
excited,
territory.
how happy. Let me just, you can guarantee how happy and excited Bob the Destroyer
He
gets
talks about
when Muslims
the invasion
are
of
being
Iraq.
murdered in Iraq.
But does he talk
For
about
the Christian
the 1400 years
Christians
of
now
Islamic
claiming
jihad
oil over
against
Iraq
Christians?
and murdering
Go on,
in the
Dust.
process
Talk about that.
hundreds of
Go on,
thousands.
Dust. Talk about that.
Destroyer forgets
Talk about that, Dust.
Now his
Talk about that,
vacuous
Dust.
memory of Christian
Vacuous
crimes,
memory.
vacuum memory of Christian
1400
crimes.
years of
That's how he
Islamic
behaves.
jihad against
Meanwhile,
Christians.
the Christian leadership
And
in
he
the West
says nothing
defends
about the
and stands up for
persecution
people like
of
Jeffrey
Christians
Epstein.
in Pakistan.
Any
He says
persecution is
nothing
bad.
about the
Not just
persecution
the
of
Christians.
Christians
The only
in Egypt.
persecution Bob the Destroyer
He
cares
says
about
nothing
is Christians.
about the
I come
persecution
here and say
of Christians
all persecution
in Nigeria.
is horrific.
He says
All.
nothing
But he only
about the
cares
persecution
about the
of
persecutions
Christians
of
in
the
Turkey.
Christians, and his bipolar
And why?
to reality
Why?
is a disgrace.
Because the
He only
progressives
cares about
only
being
hate
persecuted.
the Christian
I
church.
say all persecution
Progressives
is
have
terrible.
an
It
ideological
doesn't
blind
matter if you're
spot
Muslim,
about
Christian,
the
socialist,
persecution
or
of Christians.
A philosopher,
And that is why he's silent
Bob the
about it.
Destroyer sees only
He
one
wants
crime.
Christians
Bob the
to be a
Destroyer
doormat.
sees only one horror, and that's his claim of horror can only happen if you're a Muslim. Where in reality, there are many crimes that happen in reality, regardless of your religion or belief.
So,
And
ladies
I
and
say,
gentlemen,
let's not just focus on
I'm going to
one
go back
persecution.
to the topic I was
Let's
trying to talk
on
about
your how you
before
persecuted.
I was interrupted
But then Bob-
by the Islamists
But then Bob the
and
Destroyer
by dust.
couldn't come here to the park.
So if you'd like to
and
listen
spout
to
the
the talk
vomit
that I'm
of
going to
conceit
do,
that
I'll be
Bob
over
the
there.
Destroyer has built his whole life on. Run away, Bob! Run away, Bob the Destroyer! Run away from the truth! Run away from the truth of what you are!
Still running, Bob.
Triggered progressives.
He has to run away!
Triggered progressives
We've had this before!
can't have
When someone
conversations.
says
They only
persecution
want to
is
dominate.
wrong from anyone, he
Be
always
clear,
runs away.
Christians.
He always
Progressives
runs away.
only want to dominate the church.
Pedophiles,
They're not
the only criminals
interested
he can
in
see are
negotiating
the
with
ones
you
he's called
or
Muslims,
talking with you
where anyone
or debating
can commit a
with you.
crime. But he
They
forgets
just
that
want you to
because
kowtow to
he
them.
came here to
You
this
have to
park,
stand up to the Islamists on one hand
couldn't come to this
and
park
their progressive
and
apologists
and
on the
monster
other.
of a religion
That is the
he
choice
decided
we
to hate.
face as a
He
church.
hates people, not because of their actions, because they believe in a God. That's why he hates
Where's
you.
the proof?
He hates you because you believe
Show us the proof.
in a God. And he's
Accusations
come here to this
are easy.
to victimize
Proof
people
is a bit more
who believe
difficult.
in a God. I say
He says
you're entitled
that
to
I
believe in a
victimize
God.
people.
I say you're
If
entitled to believe in
victimizing
God.
ISIS
And you should
is a
not
crime,
one
I
person
plead guilty.
dictate which God
But
is God.
he is an
That's
apologist
what he's come
for
to
the
do.
persecution
He's come to say,
and
I'm
discrimination
perfect. I'm the
against
perfect
Christians.
nation. I'm the person that you should listen to. That's what he's done.
And he doesn't want
classed
Christians
himself
to
as a
talk
God.
about it.
He's classed himself.
He
as a
doesn't want
God. From
Christians
his
to
God's
stand
point of
up
view,
for themselves.
He's victimized.
All he wants to do
Believe in a
is
God.
villainize
He's come
Christians
here to
who point out
for
the
believing in
persecution
That's
of
Bob the
other
Destroyer.
Christians.
That's what he's always done.
All he wants to do
I come here
is victimize
his religion.
Christians
I come here to
who
defend
point
his
out
religion.
point
Your
out
religion.
the
Your religion.
intolerances
But when you
and
commit a crime,
injustices
I will stand
of
up
Islamic
and point out
ideology.
crime. But what he will do,
And why does he
did
do
it.
that?
because he's
He
classed
does
himself
that
as a God,
because he cannot
he's
separate
classed himself
in his
as a
mind
God.
the
And now we
belief
can judge.
from the
Now
believer.
we can judge someone
So he
that
thinks
doesn't worship
that a
him.
criticism
Because
of the
he doesn't
belief
worship
is
him.
a criticism
Classed himself
of the believer.
as a God in
The
this
category
park, ladies and
mistake
gentlemen.
is his,
And because you
and it
don't
is
worship
shared
him,
with all other
he's come here to
progressives.
abuse you, attack, and victimize you. Not for your crime or a crime that's committed,
So,
but because
ladies and
you have
gentlemen,
not chosen to worship Bob the Destroyer.
you have to
And
make a
therefore,
choice.
Bob the Destroyer has come
Are
here
you
weekend,
going to be
week out
bullied
to be
by
abusive
progressives
to you,
like this?
unless you
Or
worship
are you
Bob
going
the
to
Destroyer.
stand up to them?
Come to the park.
Do
worship Bob
not
the Destroyer.
allow
And he will
these
love you for
hypocrites,
worshiping him.
these virtue
Check it.
signaling
He comes
hypocrites,
here,
to
virtual
bully
signaling.
you
What I've
into
done, ladies and
silence
gentlemen,
about the injustices being suffered by Christians across the Islamic world who are suffering those injustices directly because of the teachings of Muhammad.
I come here and defend
Ladies and gentlemen, you must make a choice. Are you going to stand up to the Islamists that are operating in the UK? Islamists that because of the progressive ideological blind spot,
if you are a criminal,
people like Dust cannot see. He does not see them. And he does not see them because his ideology does not permit him to see them.
As a God here in this
All
park,
a progressive can do is try to villainize the individual.
Until you
They
decide to worship
can't have
the
intelligent conversations about ideas
That's how he comes here.
as
And that's why he ran away
demonstrated
from
by
you earlier.
Dust.
He ran away
Week in,
because he
week
knows
out.
I understand.
So,
that he's classed
ladies and
himself as a
gentlemen,
God. I understand he's classed himself as a God.
I am
He
going to
condemns
give
you
Dust
for not worshipping him. And worship him.
an
He's got
opportunity
say,
to a
"Here in
time
this park."
debate.
That's what Bob the Destroyer
Would you like to see a
has
time
come to
debate
do.
between me and
If you're
Dust?
the wrong colour.
Would you all be willing to agree to a time
Would
debate?
you?
Go on,
Would you?
Dust.
He's
Dust.
coming here
Dust.
to say
Dust.
it's not the right
Dust.
religion.
Dust.
How can you
Dust.
debate against
There
a
you
man
go.
that believes he's a God?
Exactly like I
How
said.
can you
They
debate
are unwilling to
against
debate.
someone that's classed himself as a
There you
God
go.
and judges
I
other
challenged
people?
him to a debate
Judges other people.
and he's running away.
Worshipping it.
Let's try again.
Literally.
Dust.
Literally.
Would you like to have a time debate?
Will you edit that out again?
Dust. 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 Would you like to have a time debate? Dust.
You cannot debate.
Dust. Would you like to have a time debate?
Dust. That's
Dust. Would you like to have a time debate?
He
Dust.
comes to this
Dust. Would you like to have a time debate?
himself as a
Dust.
God.
Would you like to have a time debate? Dust.
If you're
Dust.
Muslim,
Would you like to have a time
you don't
debate?
worship him.
Dust.
He's
Dust.
here
Would you
to
like to have a
accuse
time
you.
debate? Dust.
That's what he's
Dust.
done.
Would you like to have a time debate?
What he won't talk
Dust.
about
Dust.
is
Would you
the
like to have a
Christian
time
war
debate?
here in this park.
Dust.
The
Dust.
Christian
Would you
war
like to have a time debate?
in Iraq.
Dust. Dust. Would you
Christian
like to have a
war
time debate?
in Iraq.
Dust.
That he
Dust. Would you like to have a time debate?
And when Muslims come here,
Dust. Would you like to have
and
a time
actually
debate?
get angry with
Do you see,
with
ladies
God.
and gentlemen?
And when the Muslims come here,
We must have
angry
offered him a
with
time
the
debate.
that Bob the
What?
Destroyer
30 times?
he feels
20
free to
times?
mock you.
And that's
Mock
the
you. That's
progressives.
his 21. He can't
That's the
count. It was
progressives.
21.
They are frightened of
He
debate.
doesn't know history.
That's
He
why
doesn't know the
the
crimes
progressives
he's committed.
have created.
But he does know
the
that
cancel
if you're the wrong
culture.
colour and wrong religion,
That's why
Bob the
the
Destroyer
progressives
is allowed to come here
have created
for believing
the
in a
virtue
God.
signalling
Ladies
culture.
and gentlemen,
Why?
Bob the Destroyer
Because the
comes
progressives
here to mock
have
you
no tolerance.
in a God.
They talk tolerance,
What
but they don't
Bob the Destroyer
practice
comes here and
tolerance.
just like Hatu.
The progressives
Just like
are
Hatu.
the enemies
They
of
come
the
here
good.
and mock you for
The
believing in
progressives
God.
are
come here
the allies
and
of the
defend
Islamists.
Christians. I come here and
The
defend
Islamists
Muslims. I
hate
come here and
the
defend
West.
socialists.
And the
But what I don't
progressives
defend
hate
is
the
turning a
West.
blind eye to crime.
And that is why
Bob the Destroyer
the two
has always
fight
done. And
together.
it's his Christian crimes that are
That
happening.
is why
He comes
whenever
here, turns a blind
Islamist
eye
thuggery
to that.
happens
When
in
you're
the
a
port,
Muslim committing a crime,
Dust defends it.
all Muslims.
When Hatton
All
was
Muslims
slapped
for
by an
committing a
Islamist,
crime. That's what he's
Dust
done.
defended it.
You don't worship Bob the
When
Destroyer.
Hatton was stabbed
You don't
by an
watch it, Bob the
Islamist.
Destroyer.
Dost
And what you've done,
defended it.
committed a crime because he's classed
When
himself as a god.
Islamists sexually assaulted Christians in the park,
It doesn't matter.
like Lazy
It's
and
religion you
Hutton,
It
Dost
doesn't condemn
defended
all
it.
religions. Oh, it doesn't
That's
condemn
why
religion.
when cathedrals are
You
bombed
committed a
in
crime.
Iraq,
But Bob the
Dost
Destroyer
defends it.
comes here, backs out, is vacuous from it. As long as he gets
Christians,
class himself as a god
we
here
must
in
rediscover
That's
the
how Bob the
crusading
Destroyer
spirit.
has come here, and he's
We
come
must
here to
once
justify
again
a mass murder,
rediscover
Iraq war,
the faith
hundreds of thousands
that
murdered in Iraq
defends
who happen to
our
be
own
Muslim.
people,
Make him happy.
defends the church,
Beings. What he can't
that
see
stands up
under
for
the
ourselves.
Christian drone attacks. Our
As
human
Christians,
beings being murdered
we must
because he
contend
used
for
his religion
history.
to destroy
Because
his
notice
own humanity.
his retelling
He uses
of
But
history
he's not all Christians.
in his
We
ignorance.
don't judge
He
all
thinks the Iraq
Christians
war
from
was
this
a
man
Christian
who's
crusade.
classed himself as a god.
That's
We do
how
not
the
judge
progressives lie.
Christians because he comes here to be abused.
Learn
We
to
do not
stand up for yourself. Das Volt!
There's vote!
Das Volt!
There's vote!
Das Volt!
There's vote!
Das
I
Volt!
swear
There's vote!
and
Das
point
Volt!
out the
Das
hypocrisy.
Volt!
The hypocrisy.
Das Volt!
There's vote!
Das
The
Volt!
destroyer.
There's vote!
Christ is Lord!
Praise the Lord!
Christ is Lord!
Christ is Lord!
Christ is Lord!
Haven't got
Lord!
he commits. He's very happy to judge other religions when his own religion is just as bad.
Sadly,
That does not mean
this is
because
what
you
you
are a
have.
Christian. The crimes,
triggered
the crimes
progressives.
are representative.
No!
The,
Ladies
the
and
crimes that
gentlemen,
happen in Christianity
we've had a shouting
does not
match.
judge all
I'm
Christians.
going to try and go
Only
away
judge
to
the people
de-escalate the
happy to
situation
murder because he's
and to
classed
try and
himself
do
as a god.
a rational
And oh boy,
conversation
he's come
and a
here
rational
to
talk.
class himself
If
as
you would
a
like
god.
to listen to that
But you
talk,
don't judge
I'm going
all
to move
Christians
over there.
because he's running
But
away
watch
again.
the
He's in.
rabid
He's in.
fanaticism
You were about
of
to
the
run
militant left.
They were about to run away.
Want to follow me? I'll be over
Yes,
there.
run away. Bob the Destroyer runs away. Bob the Destroyer Bob the Destroyer
Now
runs
notice,
away.
notice the rabid fanaticism of the left. Notice the rabid fanaticism of the left.
Running away.
Church, you have to remember, this is what you're up against.
Because he hasn't
This
got
is
the
what
strength.
you're up against.
Because
This is what you're up against, Christians. A rabid left-wing fanaticism. And as Christians, you must rediscover a militant, muscular Christian faith
the Muslims.
that can stand up against the militants of the left and their Islamist allies, that can stand up against the far right
I'll let him now.
and the
run away.
racist and the
I'll let him now.
ethno-nationalists.
Bob the Destroyer, run away.
You have to stand up against this kind of intolerance.
Run away, Bob.
That is your only choice. Now, I suspect that many of you would consider yourselves to be on the right wing of politics, conservative, on the conservative spectrum of politics. And I want to say that there is a culture amongst traditionalists, conservatives, and those on the political right to throw up their hands in defeat. and to look at all the progressive agenda and its advances, and the Islamists' agenda and its advances, and to throw up your hands and say, we're done for, it's a fait accompli, we're finished, we're beaten. And I want to say to you, if you're one of those people, that you aren't helping. You aren't helping any good cause by your defeatist, surrender-like rhetoric. And there's a Christian equivalent of the same. Many Christians theologically talk about end times and the reality of the end times, and act and talk as if, because of their belief in the end times, that means that they can do nothing, that it is a fait accompli, and that they must throw up their hands and say that it is the Lord's will and I can do nothing about it. I want to say, if you are a conservative atheist and you think like that, you need Christianity. And if you are a Christian who thinks like that, I want to say you need a better theology of the Bible, because the Bible does not permit you to operate from a place of despair. The Bible does not permit you to operate from a defeatist narrative, however you seek to justify it. The scriptures say that we should operate through faith, love, and hope. The scriptures say and teach a virtue ethic, an ethic not based on a list of right or wrong actions, but based on a cultivation of right or wrong attitudes. And if you are a defeatist, throw your hands up in the air and say all is lost conservative. Or if you are a Christian who says this is all prophesied, it's all the end times, things are destined to get worse, there's nothing we can do about it, I want to say to you that you need Christian teaching, because this is what the Bible teaches. So in Romans chapter 5, verse 3 to 5, we read this, and not only this, but we also exult in our tribulations, knowing that tribulations brings about perseverance, and perseverance, proven character, and proven character, hope. And hope does not disappoint, because the love of God has been poured out within our hearts through the Holy Spirit who was given to us. When you throw your hands up in the air and you say all is lost, that we are defeated, that it is a fait accompli, that it is a prophecy that all things will get worse, and you use these things as an excuse to sit on your hands, to run from the fight, to not take up the spiritual armor of God, and to throw yourself into the fray of battle, you have failed in perseverance. You have failed to produce proven character, because you have failed to operate from hope. Hope continues its wellspring eternal, and it means that there is no defeat in the fight. It means that we don't give up, that we don't surrender. And brother, I'm just kidding, you want to grab the camera? Just move it this way a bit. Just want to give a bit of space to this guy. Want to check, make sure we're still filming. So as Christians, I say to all of you conservatives and traditionalists, who defeat yourselves because of your narrative. Your atheism has failed you, and your failure is defeating your conservatism. And to all of you Christians who sit on your hands because of your end-time prophecies, your theology has failed you, because Christ calls you to live by virtue, by the development of good character. And good character means perseverance. So you persevere despite the fact that they are passing laws on LGBTQ agenda. You persevere despite the fact of the strength of the consolidated Islamic communities. You persevere despite the fact that the Conservative Party has abandoned conservative values at its core and now remains only economically conservative. Christians, we live by a better way. It is the perseverance that produces the character, and the character that gives rise to hope. And it is hope that nourishes and feeds the soul so that you can enter into the spiritual, cultural and real battle for our society, for our church, for our culture, for our institutions, for our laws, for our media, for our economy, and for the persecuted church abroad. So I encourage you to read and to be a disciple of Jesus, and not to throw up your hands in defeat. Operate from hope. Any questions?
You have virtually criticized everybody. Where do you stand? What is your faith? What do you believe in?
So the brother asked me what I believe in. I am a Christian. I believe that we should be disciples of Christ, and Christ calls us to live by virtue. Virtue does not give over to despair, and narratives of despair, of hopelessness, are the fruits of a poor character. So if you face a situation and you are willing to give up, then you are giving up because you have given in to despair, poor character. Now, to be clear, to develop the answer somewhat, I accept that not every problem you can solve as an individual. Some problems you solve as groups, networks, collections of networks, collections of groups. The bigger the problem, the more people need to throw themselves at it, because you need more resources to deal with a problem. But if you accept defeat before you have already begun, then you will defeat yourself. And there is no room in Christian teaching to self-defeat. Any other questions on the topic?
It's a gift from God.
Have you come to insult your mother again?
Life is a gift from God. Have you come to
Are
insult
you
yours?
sure? Are you
Have
showing
come to insult yours?
once more that
Mary's
your
my
mother failed to
Mary's
raise
my
you with any
mother.
manners?
Mary's my mother. Have
Are you
come to
showing?
insult your
Are you
mother?
showing once more that
Have
your
you
mother
come to
didn't
insult
teach
your
you any
mother?
manners?
Mary's my mother.
Did
Have
she
you
just
come
let
to
you
insult
run
your
wild
mother?
like a dog
Have you
in
come
the
to
street?
insult your mother?
Is that why you
Have come
behave
to
like
insult
one
your
in the
mother?
park?
Have you come
Is
to
that why you
insult your
behave like
mother?
one in the park?
Have you come to insult your mother?
Why do you dishonor your
Have you
mother in
come to
this
insult
way?
your
Don't you
mother?
care about her?
Have you come to insult
Don't you
your
love
mother?
her? Don't you love her?
Like I
don't
said,
you,
brother,
don't you
I
really
said it
realize
already.
that your
That's my
your
brother.
behaviour is a reflection
I said
on
to
your
you
mother?
already.
Here we're
Like
looking.
the LL Cool J
Here we're
tracks, I saw
looking
you
at.
outside the park.
Here we're
Ezekiel-
looking. Here we're looking.
Ezekiel 3:20.
Here we're looking.
Face to the floor.
Here we're
It
looking
means
at.
Ezekiel put his
Here
face
we're
to the
looking
floor.
at
You put your face to
a
the floor?
12-year-old
No.
disguised as an elderly man. He dishonors himself
I'm gonna be home by.
and he dishonors his mother.
Did you put your face to the floor?
What is the
Did you
point
put your face to the
in
floor?
demonstrating on
According to all the
camera
translations,
that your mother
the
never
Berean,
taught
the
you?
Aramaic,
So,
Why should I put my face to the floor?
ladies and gentlemen, let's just grab the camera, move this way a bit. You've got to understand, guys, these Islamists will continue to bully and harass Christians. Now, he's a minority in this park, but amongst the Muslim population of a whole, Islamists make up 2 to 3% of the Muslim population. Well, 2 to 3% of 4 million is 20,000. And that's how many Islamists our government thinks are active in the UK. 2 to 3% of 1 billion people is 40 million. And that's why ISIS was able to conquer huge swathes of territory. These kinds of people exist within the Islamic community, and they are inspired by the supremacist teachings of Islam. And our response of Christians is to build on our Christ's teaching of love. So because I love my brother, I defend my brother. I defend my brother. So let's grab the camera again. Let's grab the camera again and let's move again. Because I want to show on camera that I'm not seeking a confrontation with this man. He is seeking a confrontation with me. And he's seeking a confrontation with me because he's triggered. Because he's triggered by a Christian talking about his own religion in the park. In the same way that Islamists are triggered by the cross in the Islamic world. That's why Christians can't display the cross in the Islamic world. This kind of discrimination is commonplace. Christians, rediscover your strength.